Hello food book folks, today I'm making a simple lamb curry. This lovely shoulder of lamb I got from the butcher's, got him to cut it up for me, and I kept the bone, and the first thing I'm going to do is make a stock. Okay, so in the stock what we're going to do is use these whole spices. We've got cinnamon stick, some star anise, some bay leaves, a few peppercorns, a few cloves, a few green cardamom, and we're going to chuck them in there with the lamb bones, and then just cover it with some hot water. Put the cooker on. And leave that to cook for, well, leave it to simmer for about half an hour, I reckon, before you can start using it. So, there you go. So while that's doing, I've got some chopping to do. Okay, we're ready to start frying now. It's very important when you're doing this to have steady hands. So for this I recommend this hand steadying preparation made from fermented grapes. In warm countries you can buy it from any supermarket. Cheers. Right, first thing we're going to do, heat up some oil in the pan. Now it's got to be sunflower oil, vegetable oil of some kind, or nut oil. Really don't want to use olive oil because it'll burn. In here we've got some fennel seeds and some mustard seeds. We've got some curry leaves in here. So first thing we do is chuck these in. As you can hear, they start to fry straight away. They'll start to spit. Now things really start to spit, we chuck the curry leaves in. They only need a few seconds, maybe 15-20 seconds. So they just start to colour a little bit, and you can smell them, they smell great. Now, onions. Chopped onions, a couple of medium onions maybe for that amount of lamb, pound and a half of lamb. Stir it around, chopped garlic. Get it all out. And chopped ginger. And also, got these two beautiful homegrown green chilies grown in the greenhouse of a friend of ours. You know who you are, Kate Williams. I'm going to chop these up, put them in. I'm only using two because they're very hot. But again, the amount of chili is up to you really. There we go. And always remember to wash your hands after chopping the chilies before you do anything, you know. Anyway, I'm going to fry this off for a bit. Okay, the onions are now fairly translucent, they look like that. They've fried down nicely with the chili and the garlic and the ginger. So I'm going to add the lamb. Turn up the heat a bit, chuck the lamb in, and just give it some colour first of all. This will take a minute, and then after I do this, after it's got a bit of colour, I'm going to throw in the spices. I'll show you what I've got. This is ground coriander. There's about, for a pound of lamb you use maybe two teaspoons, 2 heaped teaspoons. This is about 3.5. I quite like using a lot of it, so probably more like 4 in there. 4 teaspoons of ground coriander. This is ground cumin. A good rule of thumb is use half this to the amount of coriander, so I've got 2 in there, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, and 1 teaspoon of turmeric, again half, so that seems to work. I've got some black pepper, maybe half a teaspoon of black pepper. If you use black pepper in conjunction with chilies, one hot flavour brings out the hot flavour of the other, and it's very good. Okay, I'm going to fry this off for a minute. Okay, as you can see, the lamb has taken on some colour now, it's no longer raw, there you go. So now I'm going to fry the spices. Got the coriander, about 4 teaspoonsful. Ground cumin, a couple of teaspoons. Turmeric, 1 teaspoon. And ground black pepper. Now, I haven't added any salt yet. The reason for that is because you want to fry the meat before you add the salt. If you add salt while you're frying meat, it'll kind of encourage all the juices to leak out. And if you fry meat, obviously you're sealing some of the juices in. Some will come out, but if you add salt later when you put the stock in, that'll work much better. So the meat will still retain some of its juices. Okay, so we're just going to stir this round until the spices are kind of nicely frying and colouring the meat. Got to stir vigorously at this point because you don't want it to stick or burn. The spices will burn pretty quickly on the bottom of the pan. Turn it all over. It's really smelling good now. Can you smell that? Oh, it smells amazing. Right. Now, got some cider vinegar. Now you can use plain malt vinegar, or clear vinegar, or wine vinegar. I've got about 2 tablespoons of cider vinegar, 1.5 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons. Cider vinegar isn't as strong as malt vinegar. If you're using malt vinegar, you only really want to use 1 tablespoon or just under. The vinegar will, as well as sort of deglazing the spices from the bottom of the pan, the sourness helps you bring the flavour out of all the spices. So just give this a second longer. Okay, that's nicely fried up now. Generally, as soon as you can start to smell it, it's really smelling good. I mean, cooking. So as soon as you smell it, it's time to move on. Put vinegar in. So you can smell the vinegar really bringing the spices out. I've got the stove on quite hot here because you want to do it quite fast. If you have got the stove on hot, keep it moving, otherwise you will burn the spices and that won't be good. Time to steady my hands once again. Cheers. Right. Now I'm going to add some of the stock. That's been simmering away happily for about an hour now, I'd say. Doesn't matter if you get some of the whole spices in it, that's quite nice, really.